If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
So, well, yesterday, so Vaibhav, just to update you on what we covered yesterday, we covered a couple of topics with respect to the theory part. Um, that is module 1, Fiori apps we covered. Then we started off with module 2, topic 1, and module 2, topic 2. So both these presentations were covered. So it was basically kind of a technical presentation, okay, which you may not directly require because it's for those people who are involved in the end-to-end implementation of SAP IBP. But since I think SAP IBP is already implemented in your organization, it's a good to have. It's a good to go through the presentation and have a look at this. Then you will understand what I am trying to tell you. If at all you have any doubts, then you can just let me know, so I can cover some of the topics if you want me to cover them again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So in the meantime, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. After that, we have logged into SAP web interface. Okay, SAP IBP web interface, not the Excel interface, because Excel interface I am still having some issues with respect to the login. I think Victoria helped me to log in to the web interface yesterday. She sent me the link and the user ID and password through which I could log in. So yesterday we covered some of the basic points in the SAP screen. So that also you can go through the videos. So if at all you face some issues or you have some questions, we can cover them tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, Sharna.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. Okay, so thanks for joining, and we'll start with today's session. I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay. So today we'll begin with some of the additional features for the SAP IBP. So I will request you all to log in to your test systems so that you can follow the activity that I am presenting on the screen. Have you logged in already?
Yeah.
Okay. This reminds me of asking a question to Sharna. Sharna, are you set up with your login in the text system for IBP?
Yeah, I was using it yesterday.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So Victoria, if you don't mind, I will cover, because there are two participants, Sharna and Vaibhav. So I will quickly cover, the topics that we discussed yesterday with respect to the SAP IBP screen, Is it okay? And then we go on to the topics for today. Would that be fine with you?
Yes.
So that,
Yes.
Everybody is on the same page.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so are you able to see this screen on the display? And do you also have a similar screen on your laptops or on your computers?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
bit different, but yeah, almost the same screen.
Okay, so do you see a lot of apps in here?
Yeah.
On the screen, correct? And you also see the SAP logo and homepage and
That's right.
these all detailed groups, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the IBP SAP IBP screen. We call this as a web-based interface because this is a web-based tool. Okay. and the one that you use in your day-to-day activity most of the time is the Excel user interface. Okay, so both these user interface, as we discussed in the theory part, they are connected to each other, and they communicate the data, and they share the data with each other. So in short, whatever activity you do using this screen is also copied in the Excel file, and vice versa. Means if you do something in the Excel spreadsheet, and if you are logged into Excel, then this information is shared to the IBP tool. Okay, if you are not logged in the Excel, because in Excel you have to log in. Okay, wherein in the web interface, unless and until you are logged in, you don't get into the home page of the web interface site. So it's extremely important to log in, so that the information is shared between the two sites. But having said this, there are some instances wherein you are doing some kind of analysis with respect to Excel data, and you do not, and you just want this information as a one-time analysis. Okay, you do not want this information to be shared back to the IBP and stored in the IBP. So in that case, you can download the report by logging in the Excel spreadsheet or Excel file, and then you can log out, and you can still use this file and try and create the report as you want, and then you can save it in the local folder or local file, and this information will not be shared with the IBP system. Okay, so in short, going back to this screen, you see on top SAP logo. Okay, this logo is basically also a button. So once you are navigating in the apps, you can use this as a back button. Okay, for example, let's say if you are clicked in one of the app, okay, then you see here you can click on this arrow to go back, or even you can click on SAP button to get to the home page. The next to that is a button for home page. So this basically is a button wherein from anywhere in the app, if you are in the middle of something and you want to go back to the main screen, you can always click on this, and then you are back to the main screen. Okay, the next one is basically a search box wherein you can type the apps, and you can search the apps. For example, Excel. Okay, if I type Excel, I see the tab called download Excel add-in, and if I click it, then I can go to the Excel tab. Okay, or you can also have demand planning. If you type demand, then you see these three apps like simulate demand prioritization, then manage forecast error calculation. Okay, and this is in the group of demand planning, and you see view confirmations. So you can use this search box to search any of the apps from the general screen. Okay, now in here in the main screen, you see there are a lot of apps. If I just scroll it down slowly, you see a huge amount of apps till the end, and you also see some of the titles like planning basics or demand planner. So these are basically the apps offered to a demand planner, a person who's got demand planning role. And then you can go back and see what all apps are available in the system. So basically, SAP IBP is releasing the new versions or new developments every 3 months. Okay, so every 3 months you see something or the other got added to your SAP. Having said this, this does not impact any of your past work, whatever you have saved or whatever master data you have created. It will remain as it is. So in a nutshell, SAP basically selects or picks up the information from all its users, and then they try and do the kind of R&D and research and developments and try and create new apps or new functionalities, which will improve your day-to-day operation and which will improve the efficiency of the entire organization. So after the interval of 3 months, that is every quarter, they release the new SAP IBP version and with basically the new functionalities. So the latest version, for example, is released now, that is in 2023 August. So the version name would be 202308. That means this is 2023 August, the latest version. After September, October, November. So maybe in the month of November, they will again release the next version, and there may be a small modifications, or sometimes most of the apps remains the same. There is no modification. So you can see that, nothing is changed in this particular app. So that's how SAP IBP, actually functions, and they release the new developments in the system. Okay. Any specific questions so far?
I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I'm a little new to the system. So I have a, is this system, the 400505, is this system connected to our live production? And can I use, I haven't touched any of the apps yet, but can I use those apps for my day-to-day, or this is purely for like a test
No,
system from a training
this is
standpoint?
this is the test system. This is not the live system, because in test system you can do anything and everything what you want. It will not impact your production. Okay, but because this is the system where you can do all kind of trial and error, you can learn from this system, and you can make as many errors as you can, as a part of learning. But if you perform, if you use the direct live system, and if you try and debug, or if you try and work in the live scenario, then somewhere down the line it may impact your day-to-day operations. For example, if you are using a demand planning, okay, and okay, there is some kind of a master data available in the system, which is already decided by you or your management team. Okay, and in during the trial and error, if you make some changes to that in the live system, then this live system will automatically start using the new settings that you have changed, and it may have to certain extent the adverse impact. So it is not advisable to use the live system for your practice. So you have to use the demo system, that is 400505 for the trial and error and practice purpose. Okay, is that
Okay.
clear?
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
so once you are familiar with this, okay, what you can do normally, what people does is, and the process that, or the SOP that is followed by the organization is, for example, now you are a user in the, let's say, in the demand planning role, and you want to develop a kind of a functionality or kind of a report. Okay, so you have to develop this report in the test system first. Okay, so once the report is developed in the test system, and if you execute the report and the outcome of that report is satisfying you as per your requirement, and it's extremely important that this report does not impact any of the other functions. So generally what people do, or what organization do, is after the development work is done in the test system, they ask all the impacted users to perform a UAT, that is user acceptance test. Okay, so for example, if you developed a report in the demand planning and you are the user of demand planning, then they will ask you and your team members to perform the user acceptance test, and you will sign off that everything is okay and you can go live. This is point number one. Similarly, if the demand planning data in any way is used by the supply planning group, then they will inform even the supply planning users to test this and check whether it is impacting adversely or positively to any of their day-to-day activities, and then they will take a sign off. Similarly, they will ask this to the manufacturing guy. So there is an extensive user acceptance test done by several users in the organization, which may directly or indirectly get impacted by the report that is created by you. And after everybody sign off, then you have to give the green signal to the IT team to transfer this particular report or app from the test system into the live production system. And once the transport job is done, then the next day onwards you will see that this report is available in the live system, and then you can use it. Okay, now the next point here is, that's the reason, every organization, what it does is, it shares the data from the live system into the test system. So what will happen is, let's say you want to develop some reports in the test system. So you need to have the correct data in the test system, right? So that you can create the report without impacting the live system. So what it does is, the live data from the live system or the production system is copied into the test system after every periodic interval. It may be 3 months. So after 3 months, you will see all the fresh data from the production system is copied to the test system, and it is stored. So once this is done, then you have, the fresh set of data. You may have some new customers, so it will also be available in the production system, and then you can use this production or live system or test system, to make the various reports. So this is how the process is followed. But you have to be extremely careful that, any kind of development work or trial and error kind of an analysis must be done in the test system only, not on the production system. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so any other questions so far, Vaibhav or Shanna or Victoria?
Nothing for me.
Okay.
No.
So here you see, the groups title. These are called groups. Okay. For example, you see a grouping called as general planner. So if I click on general planner, you see here general planner, and all the various apps available for the general planner. Okay. Similarly, for, let's say, for the demand planner, if I click on the demand planner, you see that these 7 apps are available for the demand planner. Now, since this is a test system, you will see that mostly all the apps are assigned to everyone. Okay, because it's a test system, it's a trial and error system. So everybody can use it, and it does not impact anybody in the live system in the day-to-day operations. But having said this, you will not have all the access in the final production system. You will only have limited access based on your role. So for example, if a demand planner will only have the access to the demand planning tab, the inventory planner would only have the access to the inventory planning tab. So similarly, based on the role, and or finance guy would only have access to the finance and costing tabs. Okay, so all the accesses are restricted so that nobody gets into everyone else's domain and try and work try and impact the data to a certain extent. Okay, so on top you see the various groups. These groups you can also check here by clicking on this button. Okay, you can see all the tabs here. So you can either use this or you can directly use this, or even in the home page you see some of these tasks or the queries are available. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll try and create some of the user based favorites. So you can click on this circular button in the right hand side corner. Are you able to see this? Can you click this?
Yeah.
Okay, so down immediately you can see your user ID, and then you see some of these tabs called recent activity. So if you click on the recent activity, they will tell you what exactly was done by this user, in last few transactions. So for example, it shows me that 28 minutes ago I used the dashboard display application, so and so forth. So it's basically tells me what are the recent activities done by me and what are the frequently used applications by me. Okay, so you can click and check this. The next one is app finder. So you can find, click on this and find the various apps. Okay, you can see manage ABC XYZ segmentation rule, and then define and describe to customs alerts, so and so forth. Okay, and then I go back. Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next button is basically a button called as a setting button. Okay, so if you click on this, you see your username, your email ID, and your server. Okay, so you are logging into the same server, right? 4000505, or it's a different one?
The same
Yep,
server.
Same server. Okay, then the next one is appearance. Yeah, you can change the color of the apps. If you don't like this color, you can go to black, you can go completely white, so on and so forth. So if you click on this, okay, like for example, I clicked on this and I saved it, so immediately the appearance has changed. Okay, so now I want to go back and set it as it was. I can do that as well. The next one is edit home page. Okay, I'll come to this later. Then you see about button. Here you can see the ID launchpad, the version, and some of the technical details about system environment. Okay, see, if you see here the product name, okay, SAP IBP OD 2308, that means 2023-08. So this version they have uploaded in 2023-08, that is in this particular month, maybe few days ago, in the month of August. So next SAP version will be automatically uploaded in 2311, that is 3 months from now, because SAP IBP is sending the refreshing the data every 3 months. Okay, any specific questions so far?
No.
Okay, so now we quickly click on the edit home page. So I will also request you all to click on the edit home page and go on the top. Do you see the screen with a plus button here and add group here?
Yeah.
So click on the add group and then enter your group name. For example, now I will put my name, okay, because I have already used ZaranTech, or I will use the same name. Okay, I use this name and then I enter. So I see this name next to my home. So this will help you to make your favorites, so that you don't need to keep and finding the apps in the entire pool of apps. So maybe you can use the name, your own name, or favorites, or anything that you wish. So have you done so far?
Yeah.
Okay, Sharna, have you also done this?
Yep.
Okay, So now you are here with, let's say, with your home page. Now click on that and you see a plus button here. Okay, so now you need to add the apps. For example, your role is, let's say, demand planning. Okay, then I go back and put this forecast consumption TS supply. I just need to drag it and take it up near my app. Okay, ZaranTech 2, and I just place this here. Okay, so are you able to drag and drop some of the apps here?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty good. This is one way of doing it if you know the apps. The other way is you can just click on the plus sign and select whatever apps you want. For example, I want, let's say, ABC XYZ segmentation. So this comes here, and then I click on this pin, so it gets added to the group which I have just created. So you can add couple of more apps and then we move forward. Let's say application logs. I want to add application logs. I have added application logs. And now when I go back and to ZaranTech 2, I see 3 apps are already added here. Are you with me? Any specific questions, or are you getting some errors?
No, with you so far.
Okay. So if you want to remove these apps, you can simply click on this X, and this will get removed from your tile. Okay. So what I'll request you is, after this session or whenever you get some leisure time, you just play around around these apps and try and create your favorite tab here, okay, with your name, and whatever activities you are doing in the day job, or whatever you feel that these are the various apps which needs to be under my favorite, so you try and pick them and keep in your favorites. Okay, so now we move on to some other features. On the right hand side you see this a symbol of something like headphone. So if you click on this, you will see that click on this and skip it. You will see that there are 3 questions being asked. How can we help you report an issue or review your incident? So this particular button you can use if you face any issues and if you want to report it to SAP IBP technical team. So this is frequently used by all the users if they face any problem or any issues with their any of their functionality or reports. They just report it here and raise the ticket, and SAP IBP backend team will work on that, and they will provide you the solutions to your problem. So similarly, they also use these issues as the input from the user, and then they work on their apps and try to enhance the functionality in the apps. So this is the function which is called as built-in support. Okay. So we move on to the next functionality, which is basically a question mark. Okay. Now let's say we'll select any of the tab here. Let's say application log. So you click on the application here and you see the various apps available under the name application, and you select application log and click on the application log. Have you done? Okay. What about you, Vaibhav and Shana? Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sorry, I'm not. I'm not. Could you show that again? I got
Uh,
sidetracked into an email.
okay. Okay. So I go to the search bar. I type here application, APPLICATION. Okay. And I see all these pop downs. Okay. And I select application log. Are you able to see
Yeah.
in the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is the app called application log. So though there are no data inside, I just want to show some of the functionalities. So now you click on the question mark on the right hand top, and that will open the help. Okay. Now you also see some question marks on the app. Okay. And the first tab that you see is what this app. So if you click on this tab, they will tell you, what exactly is this app and what is this app used for. So this is like, the F1 help, the button called F1 on your laptop. When you press F1 in the SAP screen, it tells you what is the meaning of this app, what is the abbreviations, the short forms, abbreviations, and why it is used and how it is used. So similarly, if you click on the question mark, you will see that the details of this application logs, and it will also give you the examples. So in the left hand side you see all the functionalities. If you click on that, on the right hand side you see the meaning of that and the details related to that. So whenever you have some time and you want to understand something, you can use this functionality and try and increase your knowledge base. Were you able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this I have clicked. What is this app? Now you, if once you go to the next one, which is called as external identifier. Now this external identifier, the moment I click on this, it also shows the arrow on where exactly is this field, so that you don't need to find this field in the app. So what does it mean is this ID is only available for logs related to job scheduling. Okay. So you have to select this job scheduling, and if you click on this, it will give you further information, one step further information. The next one is tag. If you click on the tag, it will go to the arrow, where the tag is, and tag is nothing but a search tag, then a category, subcategory, external reference, level of details, so on and so forth. So I'll give you a minute. You can just click on each of these and try and locate this and try and read it. After that we'll go to the next points. So let me know once you are done with this.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so the next bell button is basically the notification. Okay. It is just a kind of a notification that is provided by the IBP. Okay. So and we have already gone through this most of the tabs. So any specific questions related to the main screen of SAP IBP? This is basically the first screen of SAP IBP. And now slowly in the today's session and also in the subsequent sessions, we'll get into a detailed a deep dive of most of the apps based on the curriculum which is designed for this training. So any specific question or doubt so far with respect to this functionality on and how to use it?
No, no, nothing for this. I just wanted to, I was curious. In the
Yeah,
future modules and the next slides, are we, once you get your access sorted out, are we going to do stuff in Excel add-in as well?
absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, got it. Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, at the high level, we will be covering because this is all the basic information. Yeah, just to give you the flavor of how the basic IBP system and Excel works. Okay. Similarly, for the Excel, once we start with the first session of the Excel, I'll try and explain you the functionality of the Excel file, which you may be already aware of, but we'll touch based upon that. And in the next sessions onwards, we'll get into the details of demand planning, how the demand planning is done. Then we'll have to get into the details of master data, the algorithms. So slowly we'll get into the deep dive sessions of demand planning, supply planning, then inventory, and at a high level, the control tower. So this is how we'll be covering in the subsequent sessions. So, for example, if you feel some of the information you are already aware about, for example, this basic data or this basic IBP screen and the basic functionality, if you are already aware about that, and if you don't want me to, go through this, then you can let me know so we can skip that portion and move to the next one. Okay. Does it make sense?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So now we'll move on to the next set of activity, which is called as how to use the planning models. Okay. So in this app, we will type sample model entities. Okay. So you can type sample and you will see sample model entities. Are you able to get into this screen? Hello?
Yes, I was able to.
Okay, so now we are in the screen and you can see the various SAP apps. For example, SAP IBP 1, then SAP 9, 8, 7, so on and so forth. So these are basically the various functionalities of SAP IBP or various versions of SAP IBP. And if we click on SAP IBP 1, you see that the description of this is unified planning area. Okay, and on the right hand side you see the various details of this unified planning area. So this screen is basically the master data screen for SAP IBP1 in the sample model entity is called unified planning area. You see that you see all the information here, like for example you see the attributes, you see the planning levels, you see the attribute key figure, so on and so forth. So all this information is fetching from the master data level. Okay, and if at all you want to make any changes to this, you need to have the authorization and access to make changes to these scenarios. So if you just talk about the something called as planning horizons. Okay, so what master data is set for this particular app is by level. You see that the various levels, like for example day, week, month, quarter, and year. and the periods in the past and periods in the future. So what does the period in the past mean? This is what we have seen in yesterday's presentation. So period in the past means at any point in time, SAP IBP will have the information to the extent of period past in the past. For example, if we are on 8th of August 2023 and your period in the past is 3 years, then you will see the data in the SAP starting from 9th August 2020 until 8th August, that is today, 2023. Because your master data shows that the period in the past is 3 years, so at any point in time, SAP IBP will store the data for past 3 years, and beyond past 3 years, it will not store the data, or it will store the data in the different tables, but this data is not available for the day-to-day functionality of the planning areas. Okay. Similarly, for the period in the future, okay, so for this particular tab, the period in the future is 2 years. That means at any point in time you can access the forecast, or you can generate the forecast for next 2 years. So if you have period in the past as 3 years and period in the future as 2 years, the total span of of data for the month or for the year is equal to 5 years. Okay, so that means forecast will use your sales history for last 3 years, and it will generate the forecast for next 2 years. So this is how this functionality is used, okay, to create the unified planning area. Similarly, you can click on SAP 9 and you can have, the technical details or the planning horizon for that. So you can compare on the right hand side, you can see three buttons. One is copy, compare, or related apps. So if you copy this, if you click on copy, then the unified planning area in SAP IBP will get copied into some new tab, and this data you can use for your future references. Are you able to follow? This is a little bit of a master data related activity, but I just wanted you to understand how these apps works, because if I only focus on the day-to-day activity, then it will completely become the transactional for you. I know it's little bit difficult in the beginning to digest everything, but when you get into the system and when you practice, let's say for 30 minutes or for 1 hour every day, then you will be very much familiar with all the functionality of SAP IBP, and then you will start liking it and you'll start using it more and more. So any specific questions so far?
Hey, I followed you all the way. I just didn't. How did you get into sample model entity? Did you type that up in the apps, or?
Yes. I again go back. Okay.
Because it's not showing up on my screen.
Can you share your screen, please?
Yeah.
I stop sharing.
Can you see my screen? Oh, I think it's the wrong one. One sec. Share this.
Go to the home page. Okay, now type sample, SAMPLE, and enter. Wait, or type model configuration, MODEL, model. No. Enter.
Just model. Okay.
Yeah, just model. Victoria, are you able to get this? your screen?
Yes, I have it. Sharna, are you able to?
No, I'm getting the same as this. I'm not getting the model config.
Go back, go back.
It could just be the access
Yeah. Good.
restrictions that are set.
Yeah.
We'll just go back once. Let's try again one more time, and just type, or if you are able to find this somewhere. Wait a minute. It should pop up. I In the screen I don't find it. Just try one more time.
It's most likely access restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Okay. All right. All right. We can move on.
Okay. Okay, so I clicked on this, and I got into this, and here you can see on the right hand side, the comparison, or the details of what planning horizon it is used in the past, and what planning horizon it is used in the future.
I can't see your screen if you're sharing.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Give me a moment. Are you able to see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, I just entered sample, and I got here, and then this is how it is used. Now what I will do is I will click on the copy. Okay, and it gives me the copy planning area. Okay, so this is because it's in the planning area, so I can see that I can create new dependencies, create new partial copy. If I want to copy only partially, I can have this, or merge it with the existing. So these are all functionalities. So maybe I'll use the first one, create. If I click on this create new with dependencies, you can copy this information because you have clicked on the copy, and you can use new planning area. So every person is assigned with some kind of a planning area. I don't know if it's already done by you for your team. So for example, it starts with ZSAP IBP, and then 0102 basically are the names of the users. So for example, I will try this ZSAP IBP3, and the new time profile. You can try maybe 4 or 5. Okay, then the new time profile is basically 202308, for example. Okay, you can give anything. Then source prefix is always IBP, and target prefix is, for example, TRA. So these are basically the user settings that you have assigned. You can give anything else also based, so that you know what master data you have created. Now filters to copy. So because these are all filters, and if you copy on the demand planning, then this sample model entities, this period in the past, period in the future, and all other parameters are available in the demand planning, then in the demand sensing, inventory optimization, so on and so forth. Okay, and then if you copy, it will ask you a question: do you really want to copy applications of SAP IBP1? You simply say okay. Are you able to do it till this screen? Okay, so now I'm getting a message that the profile with this ID is already exists. So enter a different profile. So somebody has already used it. Master data types with prefix already exist. Takes a little bit of a time. Taking a bit of a time. Victoria, were you able to do it?
I'm getting the same error that a time profile
Okay,
already
so you can use.
exists.
Okay, so you can use some other name. Okay, 2023 maybe 001 or 002. So I get the message here. Copy completed. Okay, so navigate to the item. Please confirm once you are able to save it or copy it.
It looks like it's copying. It's loading.
Okay. Okay. So I will check after this session, Vaibhav, if you have some issues with the specific tabs.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. Sharna, were you able to do it?
Well, I can't get into that model piece.
Sorry,
I can't get into the model.
you can't get into the model. Can you?
Yeah,
Can you
because it's an
please
access
share?
thing.
Can you please share your screen? So it's the same issue like Vaibhav, is it?
Yeah.
It's going to be the access.
Yes.
Ah, okay, 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 okay. Okay, so can you request your team, your IT teams to grant you the universal access, at least in the test system, so that you can follow the functionalities. Okay, because this is just a beginning, and then we'll get into a specific roles. Okay, but I just wanted you to understand, how certain things are done. So just check with them if they are okay to give you access. Else, we will design the training sessions accordingly.
Yeah,
Okay. So I think Victoria is still doing it.
Yep,
Okay, then
it's done.
okay, then after that you get into this particular screen, right? Then you just need to activate this. If once you activate this data, like your user setting are available, in the master data. Okay, so I think after this we'll stop here with respect to the SAP IBP user interface training, and then we will see tomorrow as to how does this particular thing impacts in the day-to-day activity. Because if we too much get into the practical sessions every day, then I think you will get confused later on. Okay, so maybe you can click on the activate, Victoria, and then we can take a break for 5 minutes because we are in the middle of session, and then we can reassemble again in next 5 minutes time.
I can't and I can't activate it right now because yours is going through.
Okay, then maybe later on you can do it in the background. So I just run that functionality, and you can see here the outcome, that SAP IBP 3, wherein I changed the application log or the sample model entity. And even Victoria, yours has been completed, but it's showing some error. So we'll check that. I'll check that after this session. What was the error?
No, it's running now.
Okay, I think it's still running, so that's why it's showing still not done. So for me, I think this one, you see that with this name ZaranTech, it's successful, and these are the tags. So basically, these are the functions where it got implemented. So tomorrow we'll see how what difference does it make, to which sort of data. That will get into the details by tomorrow. So let me see your data as well once it's completely done. Okay, so now we'll switch on to the theory part. So far yesterday we covered these two presentations, that is module 2 topic 1 and topic 2. So today we'll be covering or we'll be starting off with topic 3 and topic 4. So these two topics we'll cover, and if we get time we can also try to move to the next topic, which is topic 5. So I think I'll just see the log or the course curriculum. So today I think is the 6th day. And we are still ahead of time, but we are a little bit behind with the lab activity. So with respect to the theory part, we are a little ahead of time, but with respect to the lab activities, we are a little behind. So if we cover up the theory part, then we can focus more on the lab activities. Let's go back to the materials. So whenever you get time, are you getting into these links, LMS links, and try to work on the lab activities? Did you try and do that using these tabs?
Yes, I've worked on some of them.
Okay, so do you have any issues with this training material, lab activities, like if the information is insufficient or if it is not working? So if you face any kind of issues, do let me know.
Okay.
Vaibhav and Sharna, I will also request you to have a look at these lab activities. It's a detailed level of document, where you can just follow the steps and use the SAP IBP functionality for some of the initial transactions. So you will get a good hands-on with this, and if you do it couple of times, then I think you will remember it, and it will be easier for you to you know to use these activities in the later stage when we get into a little deeper knowledge. Okay, so now we'll start off with the next topic, that is module 2, topic 3, which is data sources. Just make this full screen. Okay. Okay. So module next module talks about the sources of data, like what are the different sources of data and how the data is used in SAP IBP. So we'll click on the next page, and again a disclaimer, you can just go through it. I'll allow you a minute to read this and then we move forward. Okay, the agenda is data sources, and this is relatively a very small presentation. Okay, so basically SAP IBP data sources are the systems or applications for which the data is imported for analysis, planning and decision making. So these are the main three functionalities for which the data is imported into IBP, and then IBP process the data and gives you the desired output of what activity you want to do. Maybe a production plan, maybe the demand forecast, maybe the supply chain plan, so maybe the inventory output. So whatever is the requirement, so basically IBP will fetch the data, and based on the data analytics, they will use this data and give you the desired output. So so these datas are both basically internal as well as external. So when we talk about internal data, it's basically the master data which is fed in the IBP function, in the IBP functionality. And with respect to the external data, it can fetch the data from any of the connected system, whether it is SAP ERP system or SAP S4 HANA, or whatever system it is. So it can take inputs from various systems and process the data to give you the desired output. So I'll just go back to some of the slides we had seen in the first presentation. Where is that? Okay. Do you remember this particular slide? Okay, so this exactly is what I'm talking about in the data sources. You can see the various systems like ERP, enterprise resource module, then CRM, customer resource module, so on and so forth. So these are all the systems which is basically sending the data, exporting the data to IBP, or in short, IBP system is importing the data from all these systems. And this is basically the IBP system, wherein it is using the data in the form of SAP HANA, from planning model, engine attributes, key figures, scenarios, simulations, predictive analysis. So these are heuristics and optimization. So these are the various processes which are built in the IBP. And so IBP is taking the data from external system, processing the data and giving you the output in the Excel plan, the Excel web interface that you are using, or the Excel web analyzer, or the IBP apps which we just used a few minutes ago. So this is how the data sharing and the data communication takes place in the IBP system. So in short, it can integrate with SAP ERP systems such as ECC, that is Enterprise Core Component. ECC is nothing but the legacy system which is used by most of the organizations for day-to-day activity. Like, it has got different modules like PP, production planning, then MM, materials module, then sales module, inventory module, transportation module, FICO, finance and costing modules. So all these modules are inbuilt in SAP. Okay. And based on which the companies do the day-to-day transactions and operations in this SAP. So SAP is sharing the data with IBP or S4 HANA, and allows you to extract relevant data in the form of ERP systems to supply to IBP supply chain planning. So this is nothing but the sharing of information from one system to the other systems, like we just used in the practical form, wherein we were creating the model entities, like planning functionalities, deciding the planning horizons, like what is the time frame of data that should be used by the system SAP IBP. So apart, it can also take the data from external systems, like any external ERP system. IBP can be integrated into that system to get the data, like CRM, which we saw just now, customer relationship manager, third party logistics service provider, or any other form of data can be integrated with IBP, and it can give IBP as the input to process the data. Similarly, DW data warehouses can also share the data with IBP. So these are basically the repositories which stores large volume of historical data and real-time data for multiple sources. So in the nutshell, for example, in the forecasting module, the historical data is used very widely, and we have just seen that in the planning horizon, we have set the days as 1095 days, something like that, like, or in short terms 3 years. So any point in time, the data to the extent of 3 years of sales history is available in the system, and this data can be used to calculate the forecast for the future months. Flat files. Okay. Not only the systems, but IBP can also accommodate or recognize the upload. It gives you the functionality of uploading the flat file like Excel spreadsheet or file in the form of CSV format. Okay. So mostly for the master data maintenance in SAP as well as in IBP, the users or the technical teams use the Excel spreadsheet. So it is extremely user friendly for even the users as well as the IT experts to use the Excel form. So what they do is they download the format from IBP for the master data. Okay, so there are various types of master data required at the time of implementation. So what these people do, or the IT teams do, is they will basically download the formats from the IBP file, and in the Excel file they will use all the data, they will enter all the data. Okay, and then they will create a kind of a flat file which is called as a flat file, a complete master data for IBP, and they will try and upload it directly into the IBP. So so we don't need to enter the data manually each and every time. So we can share the large amount of data, huge data, to IBP, in the in the form of manual upload. So this is extremely easy, and it is very user friendly, and it gives you a good amount of accuracy. That's why flat files are widely used for uploading, all the master data and other details in the IBP system. Similarly, like upload, you can also download the data from IBP systems into Excel or CSV file or any other flat file in the format which you want. So there is a functionality wherein you simply need to select the data sources and click on the download button, and then you get the download in the form of Excel, CSV file or any other flat format. The next one is cloud based applications, like similar to Excel file, similar to ERP, similar to the flat files. SAP also can recognize the data from the cloud-based applications. Okay, so it can directly pull the data from cloud platforms, and it can copy the data into its own system. Similarly, it can also transport the data from IBP into the cloud system. So this is the new functionality which recently got added in last 2 to 3 years, because prior to that these cloud databases were not widely used. It was used only to the certain extent. But now I think cloud platforms or cloud-based applications are used almost everywhere, not only in IBP but many other places. So any questions so far?
No questions.
Nope. All good.
Okay, so this is the end of module 2, topic 3, data sources. So we move on to the next topic. So SAP integrated business planning, project, task, and data. So now we learned about the data. Now how the project is managed for the implementation of IBP is what we will cover in this section. So again, a disclaimer. So as a protocol, I request you to just go through it. So the agenda is project, task, and data flows. Okay. So in the project, basically, the project includes various task, data models, planning areas, and operations. So, and in the part of project, the various activities are formed together, and a project charter is created for each and every activity, so that the project execution is extremely easier. So there are a lot of planning activities done, and there is a lot of collection of data, as well as involving a lot of stakeholders, like the end users. So basically the project team, what they do is they first map the as is process. When I say as is process, is how the activities are currently handled by the organization. So at a detail level, the project execution and the project management team, they will directly talk to the end users who are actually doing the day-to-day operations of various processes, and they will make a list of the all these small tasks which is currently performed by various users, and they will create a process document called as a standard operating procedures. So these are basically the SOPs for the as is process for any of the function. Let's take an example of planning activity. So how planner is doing the day-to-day operations, that is captured in the as is process. Then the project management team maps this as is process with the tool, with the IBP tool, and they identify the to be process. So in the to be process, what they do is, they roll out the details of how the various processes are going to be performed in the tool when the IBP is launched. So these kind of information is passed on or communicated to the end users and the wider groups who are impacted by the project management. So they are aligned and they are on the same page with respect to the project team. So now, what is the task? So as a part of project management, there are the a wide level of milestones that is defined at a periodic interval. So these milestones are nothing but the specific activities which a project management team needs to complete within a stipulated time. For example, they prepare a project timeline wherein the various activities, even a smallest level of activities, are mapped as a part of project charter. So this project charter is nothing but the list of activities which are required to be executed for a completion of the project, and to each and every activity, that is divided into smaller sub activities. So these smaller sub activities are called as task. So task is a very, very small kind of a target which is given to the specific team member. Okay. So for example, if a project management team has, let's say, 20 people working for a project, so these 20 people will have their individual task, goals for a very, very short term. Okay, which they have to complete in this time. So these tasks are then basically drilled up to the next level, which we call as a project milestone. So for example, if a project milestone, let's say for the IBP implementation project, the first milestone is to prepare the master data. Okay, and if the implementation period for the IBP is, let's say, 6 months time, then the master data would needs to be made ready within the first month, let's say 30th of August. So this 30th of August is a milestone for the first milestone for the project, that is the preparation and completion of the master data. So within this preparation or completion of the master data as a milestone, there will be sub activity or task. For example, collate, the first task is collate all the data, and for that, the deadline is, let's say, 10th of August. Then review of the data, the deadline is 12th of August. Then remove the unwanted data, cleansing of data, the deadline is 15th of August. So and so forth. So these small activities are called tasks, and these tasks then finally are aligned in such a way that the project milestone is achieved. So this basically is driven by the project management team, and they follow this religiously. And anything in the any delay in the project execution can impact the final target completion date of the project. Any questions so far with respect to the project management activities? Okay. Okay, the next topic is data flows in SAP IBP. So this involves the movement of data between different systems or component within the supply chain planning landscape. Okay. The SAP provides integration capability of exchange of data from various systems. Okay, this is what we already checked. how SAP is providing the various functionality of setting up the master data, copying it, or creating this master data, comparing the master data. So there are various functionalities available in SAP to validate and create the data. It also achieves through various methods like including file-based integration, web services, middleware tools like SAP Cloud Platform, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of activities, or there are a lot of options available for the project management team, to fetch the data from various systems. Either it can be done through a flat file upload, or it can be also done through a transfer of data sources from SAP system into IBP system, or it can also fetch the data from the cloud-based interfaces. Okay, that is SAP Cloud Platforms. There are various methods through which the data can be uploaded into the IBP system. Okay, so that's all for this presentation as well, related to the data flow and project management. So any specific questions on the couple of topics that we just covered?
No questions.
No
from me.
questions from me.
Okay, so before we move on to the next set of activities, I would like to maybe check and understand from any one of you if you are doing some kind of a master data changes in Excel. So Vaibhav, are you doing any kind of a master data related activity?
Yeah, I am. So anytime there's new products being set up, finance would set up the bombs, and me and my boss, we set up the master data. So far, I've done a few, but I want to be able to, do all the IBP setup myself without any help.
Okay, so can you please run me through at least one subset of master data? So do you do it in the Excel interface, right?
Excel interface, that's right.
Okay, so can you share your screen and show me any one, maybe in the test system?
Um, you'd have to help me navigate the test system because I can show you in Excel, but I can run you
Okay,
through the script.
okay, so okay, let's do it in this way. So whatever you have done recently, if you remember something, you can show me the same. You don't need to create anything new. Okay, and just help me to understand what exactly was done by you in the Excel spreadsheet. So if there are any doubts, or if there is any better way of doing it, I will quickly let you know.
Got it. So we had a new. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I'll stop sharing. Maybe you can share your screen, so I will understand what exactly tasks were done by you.
All right, I can share my screen. I'm not sure there's much to show, but I'll run you through
Okay.
the script. So this is the script I
Okay.
follow, right? Because I'm new. Um, these are the SKUs I set up recently in IBP, and I pretty
Okay.
much followed the script in the Excel add-in master data workbook to finish the setup
Mm-hmm.
of these SKUs. And then after they were set up, I copied those SKUs and the source IDs into the production resource of my supply plan. So they show up and I can plan those SKUs and there's demand for that. I can see the demand for that. So there's a step by step. This is how I ran through it.
Okay. So this basically you did in the Excel user interface, is it?
In the Excel user interface. That's correct.
Okay. Okay. So you don't directly get into the web interface. That's what you're
No,
saying.
never. No. I will get into today is one of those days when I will get into the web interface because it is a short week in Canada because Monday was a long weekend and we have
Mm-hmm.
a batch job set up for BOW to run on Monday. So because the production carryovers from last week are not done, our team in our co-packing operation will now be, as we speak, they will be posting production and posting invoices. Once they're finished doing that, I will go to the web UI, at which point I will
Mm-hmm.
run this thing, this job, which I also have a script for, like notes for,
Okay.
through the web UI. This is the only time I use web UI.
Okay. And how frequently do you use it? Once a week?
Every long weekend, if there's a long weekend where the Monday is missed, then I have to run it.
Okay. 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 Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Sounds good. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the Excel, so I cannot show you how it is used in Excel. Maybe
The
next time I'll try. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there was
Victoria,
a
you were saying.
note. Yeah, there was a note that just came across saying that you should now have access.
Okay. But I think the web access would take little time, right? So I don't want you to keep waiting. So maybe now it's, I think 20-25 minutes left. So I will might as well cover the next topic and then we use the Excel, maybe full session tomorrow. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just check if I've not got any emails, but maybe what you are saying is I need to again log in, right?
I believe so.
Okay, so after this session, once the session is over, I think I will try and log in to the web page and see if the access is set. So in the meantime, we can move forward and try and cover some of the next topic, that is production and quality environment for data sources. Okay. Okay, so this covers the agenda like real-time simulations, user-friendly interface, collaboration, then standardized data model, scalability, digital transformation, and improved productivity. So these are basically the agendas covered in this topic. Okay, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is a real-time simulation? Okay, hold on for a minute. I'll just. Okay, so basically, real-time simulations are, the simulations that helps the business to analyze the potential data. So what we need to do is, whatever are our business processes, okay, whatever are the various processes within the supply chain or manufacturing or quality organizations. So we have to create a kind of the scenarios, okay, for this. So just take an example of the scenarios. Let's say a forecasting scenario. So what we need to do is basically, because we have to test those scenarios and sign off that everything works fine. Okay. So for the forecasting scenarios, we will create a simulation as to how the forecast is done in the existing process. So the steps involved, for example, for forecasting process is, first, the sales team will get the feedback or get the inputs from the customers, and then they will enter the inputs at a customer and material level, customer material combination, in the Excel spreadsheet, for example. Okay, so each customer will have some set of data for his material, whatever material he's buying. So a customer A and material 1 will be a one set of data, customer B and material 1 will be second set of data, customer B and material 2 will be third set of data. So these are basically, the customer material combinations which are input in the system. And then a person like demand planner will aggregate this data and compare this data with respect to the sales history. So this can be a one scenario which is kind of a process A for the forecasting process. Similarly, this becomes one particular scenario. Similarly, there may be many other scenarios which will be part of the process. So these small scenarios are built in the system, and then they are tested at a real time, as to how actually it works, and the outputs are checked. And once the outputs are confirmed to be okay by the end users, then they perform what is called as a user acceptance test. And after the completion and sign off of the user acceptance test, these real time simulations are finalized as the kind of a process. So this simulation assists in determining the suitable financial models and aid in decision making based on the up to date data. So once these scenarios are developed with the real time information, that's why they are called as real time simulation. So it's basically, the simulation of data in the system, maybe in the test system to begin with. And once everything is finalized and it's working fine, then this is pushed to the production system. So the next topic is user friendly interface. So SAP IBP always focusing on the simplicity and is user simplicity, so that if the user friendly, if the access is user friendly, then most of the users would adapt to it. Otherwise, what will happen is, if it is too much of a complicated piece of information, then I think sooner or later the users are going to lose interest in the tool, and then they will move out of the tool. So that's why SAP IBP is focusing on a very very simple and easy to use tool, so that it can be used by a wide number of people, and it can be extremely simple to use by most of its user. So the navigation has to be very very simple and a very common process, which can be understood by even a layman, okay, or a person if he is trained once, then he should be able to use the access. Similarly, the downloads should be on the click button, one single click. So in short, the more user friendly system you develop, the more chances of this system being used by a number of people. So we move on to the next one, collaboration. So IBP basically is promoting the collaboration across different departments and verticals within the organization. If you remember, the IBP picture or the graph, it shows that it uses both bottoms up as well as top down approach. So from bottoms up means it starts off with a process of demand planning, then supply planning, then inventory management, then the SNOP process, and finally the control tower. And from the top down approach, the control tower, that is the top management team, has a bird's eye view, and they get the pulse of the organization, and they understand what exactly is happening down the line. So it collaborates with the systems as well as with the people and the various departments, and communicates decisions making amongst the various stakeholders involving supply planning, sales, inventory, finance, marketing, product management, and most of the team members who are responsible for the operations management. Any questions or doubts?
No.
Okay. Standardized data model. It also emphasize on the standardization process. Okay. But you can see that from the SAP user interface, that is web user interface, you will find the process is little bit of a complex. But since this is mainly used by the IT technical experts, you know and they are well versed with how this set data sets work. So if you ask the question to the IT qualified people, they will not find this complex process, wherein user like us who's just doing the activities and not the implementation part, they will sometimes find it difficult to understand because it's little bit of a complex. But from the execution perspective, on the contrary, if you look at the Excel user interface, that is extremely standardized, and this is nothing but most of the functionalities work within the Excel with some special features of simulating the data and transmitting and communicating the data with the other tools. So that a standardized approach provides consistent, accurate representation of the operations decision making. So this helps based on the standardization of process as well as standardization of data models. Okay, the important point is scalability. Okay, so even a small set of data can be managed in SAP IBP, or an extremely simple process can be managed in SAP IBP, as well as a highly complex process to the and the scalable process. So to begin with, most of the organization starts with a very small and simple processes, and as and when they get familiar with the tool, they try to implement the advanced processes, and mostly within the certain span of time, they implement the entire end-to-end process in the IBP. So that's the beauty of the system, that it not only talks about the processes related to supply chain and manufacturing organizations, but it covers the processes related to the quality organization, marketing organization, sales organization, finance organization, so and so forth. So it can scale the company's growth and handle the complex workflow associated with the supply chain, revenue model, and logistics. So all the revenue and revenue and the profitability till the EBITDA level. I don't know if you are familiar with the term called EBITDA. This is a finance term, but do you use this term, or have you heard about EBITDA? EBITDA.
Yes.
Okay, great. So it gives you the drill down information till the extent of EBITDA, that is earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization. um, the next one is, of course, as the platform of SAP IBP is digital, it promotes the digital transformation. Okay, so basically the initiatives by providing real-time data analysis and peer-to-peer collaboration. So it helps you to collaborate within the teams and within the cross-functional teams in the most effective manner using the digital transformation. So it is basically fetching the data from cloud-based system. So as I told in the past, as I said in the past, the data retrieval is extremely fast, and you get a quick downloads or the quick reports within a few seconds. Improved productivity. So the whole idea of implementing the IBP is to improve the efficiency and the productivity of the organization. So with the user friendly process and with the most of the automated process, with the process automation, the productivity is improved, and the efficiency of the organization is improved substantially. So it enables you the efficient response time, and the supply chain and the logistics challenges are overcome. You have quick solutions to the problem, and even the cost and decision making is fast. System also helps you in driving the cost reduction initiatives, so and so forth. So if you understand the usage of systems effectively, and if you use the system effectively, then I think you will achieve most of the benefits. So any specific questions? With this we have come to the end of the presentation. So any specific questions or doubt in today's scenario, today's session?
Nothing from me.
Okay,
Nothing for me.
Vaibhav,
Nope.
No.
Rana. Okay, so what I'll request you, if you get some time in your busy schedule today, try to follow what we have seen in the SAP IBP screen in the beginning. Okay, creating the sample models. Okay, and try and use the basic functionality. Just play around the system by clicking on the various tasks, so that you are familiar to this. For example, I don't know, it's logged out. Okay, use these tabs, try and create the edit tabs. Try and understand, run some of these apps wherever you see some numbers, like for example ABC XYZ analysis. The more you get into this, the more you will understand how the system works. This is the segmentation profile. So we'll get into the details of this in the subsequent sessions when we have more number of peoples also joining by next week. That time we'll have the detailed deep dive. So I don't know. I have one question related to the participants which are going to join from module 4. Okay. So today, from the theory perspective, we have more or less covered the module 1 as well as module 2. Now the next module is module 3, but we're going to skip that. So we'll directly start with module 4, maybe from Monday onwards. So for next couple of days, we'll mostly focus on the activities related to the lab. That means the hands-on on the tool, Excel user interface, as well as the IBP web interface. So in the meantime, if you have any doubts about module 1 or module 2, you can maybe list down the questions, and I can cover it tomorrow during the session. Okay.
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 Okay, so I think we can close today's session now.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so that's it from my side for today. Have a great day ahead. Take care and be safe.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.